Welcome to my underground guitar lair, whose location will remain a mystery for now. Welcome to episode 1, where we will be jumping right into it and discussing demystifying leads. One thing that's important that a lot of guitar teachers stress is scales, and it is important to know them. I do not, however. I just couldn't, it was just too tedious for me, so I figured out different ways to do it, and that's what I'm here to show you. If you find yourself not wanting to play because, you know, some things are too hard, hopefully this helps you out a little bit. But there's a little bit of theory involved here, and that is super important to know where the notes are. Not every single note on every single string, but the low E string and the low A string are very important to know where your notes are, because that's going to be your roadmap of knowing where to play. So we're going to do something that might seem a little dumb. We're going to go down the low E string, and we're going to go over every note and just see how that works. So you get your open low E string. Pretty simple. And we have F. So there's no F flat or E sharp. It just goes right from E to F. That's just how it works. So we have E, F, F sharp. Now you wouldn't say G flat, you'd say F sharp. I'm not sure why, but I've been corrected in the past, so just some notes you just have to say a certain way. I guess you could say it, but chances are you'll be corrected as well. So we've got, so we'll start over. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B flat. Now you say B flat instead of A sharp. I don't know why, you just do. So you have B flat, B. So when we get to B, there's no sharp or flat. There's no B sharp, and there's no C flat. It goes right from B to C. So B, C, C sharp, D, E flat, and then E. So we started at E, ended at E. As Eddie Van Halen said one time, you've got 12 notes, and it's up to you how you mix them up. So why is it important to know that? Well, it's basically, knowing where the notes are in the low E string is gonna be a roadmap for you, and it's gonna show you where you can play. So we'll say something is in the key of A minor. Right here, you find your A note, right there. Where can you play leads? You're already in your first box. So that first fret here, I don't like calling this the 5th fret when I'm talking about this lead boxes, because that's not going to help you when you're playing down here. So you basically make a 3 to 4 fret box. You can start with 3 and then expand to 4. So you find your A note. Well, now you found that, in that fret, your D and your G string, the D, the G, the B, and the high E, you can play all those notes. So once you start forming your box, you skip a fret, and now you have the 3rd fret in the box here. You can play your D and your G in that fret. So you got these 4 notes to play around with, and you got these other 2. You can do whatever you want with those. If you want to expand to 4 frets, you can shoot out 1 more in your high E and your B string. And if you do want to get a little bluesy, you can hit that. It's mostly it gives you like a bluesy feel. Sometimes it works, sometimes it might not. That's basically your 4 fret box you can play in. So you got your A right there. So you can pretty much do whatever you want in there. Just it's kind of, you got to kind of feel around. See, you know, like I'm not going to teach you scales because I don't know them. But this is more to show you like where you can play. So that's an A minor. Now if you're in G minor, find your G note. Same thing. Start here. You can bend them, whatever. A minor. And you can keep going all the way up the neck. D. You can pretty much do that anywhere. So that's your first box. Now how do you find your second box? So your second box, so you know how we went down all the notes on the low E string? Well, it's good to know them on the A string as well. All the notes always exist in the same order, but they get started at a different point. So let's go down the low E string again. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So now we're at A, which is the same as your open A string. Same note. So just like B flats here, right here, A, B flat, same thing here. So just like we went up the notes here, we're going to do the same thing but starting down here. So A, B flat, B, C, C sharp, D, and you just keep going all the way up. And you keep going all the way up. So you get back to A. Same 12 notes. Same notes, same order, just starting in a different place. So now that you know where the notes are on the A string, where's your second box? So first box, we found A. You know, I just used, you don't have to play it like that. You know, that's like pretty much the simple way of, you know, that's how everybody starts playing, but you can, I'm not doing anything crazy, I'm just staying in with those two positions. So that's your first box. Then you find your second box. So you find your A and your low E. Where's the A in the, other than being open? A up here on the 12th fret. Well, same thing. So you can do this pretty much the same things you can do here, you can do here. There's one exception. You can't do that bluesy note. Doesn't really work. And that B string, it doesn't really work there. So it would be on the 2nd fret instead of the 3rd fret. But the most important things to know is where your box is. So going back to the low E string, you find your A, and then you find your box, starting with your index finger. It's that same fret. And then you find the A string, you find the A note, and now you found your box. So everything, pretty much, depending on the kind of guitar you have, depending on how many frets. This has 21 frets, some have 22, some have 24, some have fucking all, 28, whatever, those weird ones. This part of the neck is exactly the same. It only goes up to here on my guitar. So I only have 21 frets. So it all, repeats. So all of this is all right here. So depending on what key you're in, you actually have 3 spots. So we're in A. So we learn where that is, 2nd spot. We learn where that's the 2nd spot there. and over here. It's basically the same thing as here. So if you can count by the dots. So if you're on your second dot, then the second dot down here is going to be the same thing. Same note. So that's basically, it's double. It's just an octave higher. So it's the same, they're the same notes, just in a different spot. Okay, so how do we know where to play if you're in a major key? So we learn where the notes are in the low E string, then we learn where they are in the A string. It's a little bit different for major. First of all, you gotta find your key. So say you're in C, find your C note, right there. Make like a C power chord. And use your ring finger, pinky finger. I use my pinky finger because so I can just do the spread there. But when you make that chord, so you find your C on the A string, you make that chord, it's not going to be here like it is in minor. It's going to be where your other finger is, making the chord. That's where your box starts. So you make your chord, and then you look, and it's going to be in this fret, but it's going to be right here. So and it works pretty similar to the minor, but same thing, it's that B string. You can't go. That's just not in the scale, it sounds weird. So you have to, so it's in the second fret on that low, on that B string. So you get your chord, C, just a power chord, just to help you visualize where your box is gonna start. So instead of minor where it starts here, it's going to start here. Here's your box. So if you're in C, if you're in D major, find your D, which is right here. Same thing, slide it up 2 frets. E. It's pretty much how that works. Now, eventually, you'll be able to figure out how to play all over the entire neck, but this is a good place to start. So, quick review. So if you're in a minor key, find the note on the low E string. If it's G, right there. Where can you play? Right there, in that first fret. Get your box right there. Expand it a little. Find G on your A string, which is see, you can hear it's the same thing. So you can and then you can play the octave. So pretty much staying in those 3 or 4 frets. You can do all that. You just mix up those notes however you want. So getting back to the major, find your key note on the A string. We'll say D. Right here. Remember, it's not the same as minor, so you don't start playing here. You start playing where your other finger is. Make your chord, and then you slide up. And that's how you do that. Probably the most important thing about playing leads is making sure you're playing in the right key. Everybody screws this up sometimes or forgets what key it is, or just can't hear when you're playing live and you think you're in the right key and you're not. You can ask Dave Prendergast, my good buddy. Check out his channel, a great musician. But you can ask him, in our old band, Engine 2, back in the day, he turns to me while we're playing Aerosmith's What It Takes, and just the look of disgust was, I was like, what? Oh shit. And I was playing the whole half step down. I was completely wrong key. And it sounded like trash, sounded like garbage. And so, you know, mistakes do happen. The way I figure out what key a song is in is, number one, what's the first chord of the song? Usually that is the key. Not always, but a couple examples. I don't know if the video is going to get flagged here, because if you play anything copyrighted, you know, that's just how it goes now. But we're going to risk it. Actually, maybe I'll throw a little graphic in. So if you play, which starts with an E minor, just an E power chord base pretty much. Maybe I'll cut that out, that last part, because you can't clearly play the lick. But anyway, play that first note, the first chord. It's an E minor. What key is that song in? E minor. Another song, if you play, right, yeah, there it is, right there. If you play this, there's a little, before it, there's a little G, but it's really, it resolves more to, it's an A minor. What key is the song in? A minor. So in those cases, yes, the first chord is the key of the song. There are, however, exceptions to that. Take a song like By, right? So that song starts like this. Oh. It actually, so that song actually does start with a, but the main riff goes. So you would think A, but no, it's not A. If it's not the first chord of the song, it's whatever the progression resolves to. You can play this through, you can play that through the whole song if you want. Except for you could play that, you could play this through the entire verse if you want. So I'm playing all these other chords over this. So the key is actually F sharp. So sometimes it can be tricky, but you really just got to use your ear. Listen to the bass. Bass players and the bass in general sometimes gets a bad rap. Guitar players are all, but you really gotta listen to the bass, because that's your foundation. And if you can't find the key and you don't know where you are, you don't know what's going on, listen to the bass, and that'll tell you where you need to go. So it's very important. Listen to the bass. Suppity bass, man. It takes a little while to develop your ear, but once you get used to it, then it becomes like second nature. So for my first video, hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm still working on some technical glitches. I had to do this video twice because there was this horrible buzz throughout the first time. So this is my second time through doing the same. So yeah, don't forget to click like and subscribe. It helps me out and helps pay the rent for you. I can keep bringing you content like this. And if you have questions, leave them in the comments. Anything you guys want to discuss, just let me know, and I'll make sure to fit it in one of the videos coming up. All right, dudes, thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you next time.